We're dodging the tax, it seems. $16 billion warning as Aussie businesses push back on cashless trend. Had enough. Basically, what this is about is Aussies wanting to deal more in cash, and the ATOs are saying you're dealing in cash because you're trying to dodge on tax. Really interesting stats down here. The ATO is warning businesses across the country of the dangers of tax avoidance, basically dodging tax. Many have changed to do cash only because obviously they can't be tracked. It's allowing them to kind of deal with the economy we live in a more meaningful manner. And let's face it, the cost of living is really tough. I wanted to talk about recessions and having cash in recessions, because in the past there's been a cash economy. Now we don't necessarily have that cash economy. Actually, if it was the government's choice, they would scrap cash because obviously they're losing out on tax revenue. And if they can track everything electronically, it's harder to dodge it and they're taking in more revenue. And that seems to be the way it's going these days. Now, obviously, there's a bunch of people trying to reverse that trend and just take cash. The ATO has received more than 47,000 tip-offs for the 2024 financial year alone. By the way, businesses handle or accept cash was a major issue. This is really, really important. This is one issue that's been going on in my mind is that, okay, we've had 2 recessions since 1993, whenever you want to call the recession we had to have, around 1993. In 1993, especially down here in Victoria, it was a really bad recession. We had 10% unemployment. I was a young kid at the time. I remember my parents worrying about stuff. We didn't have too much, so it was a genuine worry. It's not like today where it's like, oh yeah, times are tough, but if you lose your job, you can still go get another job. You know, that may be an omen of things to come. Then you fast forward to 2020, when we had the COVID recession. Things worked differently then because everything's basically electronic now. Even by 2020, electronic transactions had taken up a lot of the transactions. What did that mean? That meant small businesses had less cash. There was less of a cash economy. So whilst I really don't like tax dodgers, I don't like that some people can dodge it and then get an advantage compared to other people, as the ATO is stating later in this article. I think it's actually better having the cash economy there because of the effects that it has on the economy, because small businesses take up, 40, 50%, maybe some sources would say more, of the employment in the country. That's how important small business is. And they've been getting screwed by, big business monopolies, oligopolies, all that sort of stuff for many years. But the truth is, it hires around half of us. Our system is changing. Our system is changing that when the system collapses, and this is what we saw in COVID, the government just hand out incentives. You need to stay in business, we'll give you cash. So you got 2 different systems there. And the problem with the government distributing it is that they're not taxing everyone and then holding a bunch of money there for when a crash comes and then going, okay, well, here's this money we put aside for you during the crash. We're going to support businesses. When the crash comes, they create a lot of money, which causes inflation, and it causes a whole lot of other second order effects on the economy. It's not as if we're trusting the government to distribute those funds in a more even way. They're not even there. And this is the thing, our government, and not just our government, Western governments around the world want more control over this. And I'm not saying the other way was perfect. What I'm saying is I would prefer a cash economy because that actually provides a buffer in hard times. And that's actually, by the looks of it, what people are trying to do. They're trying to get ahead, because if they have to pay all of their taxes and everything, then some of them are going to go out of business. Some of them are going to get rid of their employees, and there's going to be more unemployment. We haven't seen that as of yet. We can see in the private market that the private market's not employing anyone, and all the new jobs are being paid for by government money, specifically the NDIS. That also sounds like one of those second order effects which isn't going to end bad, and it's going to create its own set of problems. So in this scenario, I'm actually siding with the cash economy. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than the government trying to control everything and distributing our wealth, because we've all seen how well that's gone the last 5 or 10 years.